Hello, fingerstyle people, back again with another episode. This time around, album of the month, and I'm doing this because I wanted to do it a little later this month, but I'm doing it sooner simply because I'm having to take a break from playing. I have a little tendonitis in my wrist. Now, once in a while, I get that. It creeps up on me here and there. It doesn't happen that often, but when it does, I have to just take a little break, and then I'm fine. So I thought I would do that and fill in the blank this week with album of the month. And this month's album, guitar album of the month, my pick is Justin King, Le Bleu. Now, some of you may know who he is, some of you may not know who he is, but Justin King is a fingerstyle guitarist from Oregon and has been in and out of the music business for the past 20 years. And his career has been very interesting because he's been kind of doing the solo thing, and then he's been in and out of bands and side projects, and now he's kind of back to doing the solo thing again, I think. I'm not really too much up on his career nowadays. It's very hard to get at what he's doing. If you go to his website, it's not very extensive. He doesn't have any tour dates listed. Even before COVID, there were no tour dates listed. So I don't even think he's touring right now a lot. But anyway, I just wanted to say a few words about this album. This is one of my favorite guitar albums of all time. And the reason why, more specifically, is because it really runs all over the place stylistically, which is one of the things I love about it. It has a lot of variety on it. Everything from more bluegrass-oriented tunes to gospel-oriented tunes to more Latin-style guitar, nylon string guitar, more classical. It has more modern fingerstyle, a lot of good tapping stuff on here, rhythmic stuff, just kind of all over the map in a good way. He makes it all flow together. 19 tracks, and I think there was maybe only one vocal on here. Actually, Justin King is a fantastic singer. A great songwriter too. So he's just kind of an amalgamation of everything, really. And that's kind of why he's one of my favorite artists and fingerstyle players. Simply because albums like this are very rare nowadays. Very rare. So I think this album is actually out of print now, which is why it's so near and dear to me. This, I think, was made in England at, what does it say? I think it was made in what's called the Real World Studios of what's his name? One of the most famous musicians of all time, Peter Gabriel. Peter Gabriel owns Real World Studios in Bath, England, and I think that's where this was made. So how he got to do that, I'm not sure. He's rubbed shoulders with some pretty big names. I know that. So I'm not sure how he got so lucky on that as an independent artist, but he did. And he's opened for James Taylor, and I think maybe Bonnie Raitt, I'm not sure, but several big names he's rubbed shoulders with and opened with and even toured with. And he owned a studio in Brooklyn, New York for a while, and then he shut that down and moved back to Oregon. So I have no idea what he's doing now, but the reason why I love reviewing these types of albums is because you rarely hear about guys like this. You know, you hear about the big names, Andy McKee, Antoine Dufour, and all the Candy Rap players, and those guys are great. I'm not putting that down at all, but there's some people that just kind of slip through the cracks, and this guy's one of them. And I just strongly feel like somebody should give a shout out and say something about it, because this album really is an amazing guitar album. He's got classical guitar on here and Irish, kind of like an Irish jig. He has a percussionist on here. Let's see. I think what's the percussionist's name? James somebody. And he has even a violinist on here. So he overdubs a few other instruments, but then he has most of the pieces on here are completely fingerstyle solo guitar, which is obviously what this my whole shtick is about. So anyway, I just wanted to give a shout out to Justin King and just say a few words about him. And if this album is available anywhere on the internet, go get it. If it's available digitally, go get it. Pay money for it and support him. That's all I got to say about that. So, like I said, huge fan of Justin King. I think the first time I saw Justin, I actually saw him live once. It was in a small bar in Cincinnati. And I can remember driving all the way down there. I was living in Columbus, Ohio at the time. So I drove, it was like a 2-hour drive, and I drove all the way down there. It was like the small bar, and only like 10 people showed up. It's like, really? But he just, he just blew the roof off, man. He blew the roof off of that place, just completely jaw-dropping. I remember after seeing him that night, I told him, I've got to go back and practice, and he just kind of laughed, you know. But that night when I got back home to Columbus, I think it was like midnight. But I think I practiced for 2 hours before I went to bed. I was so inspired by what I had seen. I was like, I gotta practice. This is it. And I felt really good after that. So I'm not the kind of guy who is like, man, that guy made me want to burn my guitar, or that guy made me want to throw my guitar in the trash. You hear this all the time, and it's like, what the freak? Really? It should inspire you to get better, not throw your instruments away. I mean, geez, come on. I never understood that. I never understood that mentality at all. You know, you make me want to quit. Why? Get better. That's what it's all about. So this guy definitely made me want to get better as a player years and years ago when I first heard him. So I'm going to end this now. I hope you really check this guy out, because whether he's touring or not, no matter what he's doing, this album stands the test of time. We'll see you in the next video.